A Horse's Life on the Farm. Chapter 1. The First Morning. On a quiet farm surrounded by rolling green hills, a small brown foal was born just as the sun began to rise. The sky glowed pink and gold, and the air smelled like fresh hay and morning dew. The foal's mother, a gentle mare named Clover, nuzzled her baby softly. The farmer, Mr. Thompson, watched from outside the wooden stall. "Welcome to the world, little one," he whispered. The foal wobbled on long, shaky legs. His knees bent and straightened as he tried to stand. The world felt big and bright. After a few tries, he finally stood tall, his first victory. They named him Rusty because of his shiny reddish-brown coat that glimmered in the light. That first day, Rusty learned what it meant to feel the sun on his back and straw beneath his hooves. He listened to the soft clucking of chickens and the distant mooing of cows. Everything was new. Everything was exciting. And so began Rusty's life on the farm. Chapter 2. Learning the Pasture. As days turned into weeks, Rusty grew stronger. He followed Clover into the pasture for the first time. The grass stretched endlessly before him, like a green ocean. Rusty sniffed everything. He tasted sweet clover. He jumped at butterflies. He even tried to chase a rabbit, though the rabbit was much faster. The other horses watched with curious eyes. There was Duke, an older black stallion who had worked on the farm for many years. Duke was wise and calm. "You'll learn," Duke said gently, when Rusty tripped over his own hooves. "Running takes balance. Balance takes patience." Rusty practiced every day. He ran in circles. He galloped beside his mother. Sometimes he fell, but each time he stood back up. One afternoon, Rusty discovered the joy of a full sprint. The wind rushed past his ears. His mane flew behind him. His hooves thudded rhythmically against the earth. In that moment, Rusty felt free. Chapter 3. Seasons Change. Spring melted into summer. The farm buzzed with life. Rusty's coat shone brighter than ever under the summer sun. He spent long afternoons grazing with the herd. At night, fireflies blinked like tiny stars near the fence posts. Then autumn arrived. Leaves turned orange and red. The air grew cooler. Rusty noticed his breath puffing in the mornings. The farmer began stacking extra hay in the barn for winter. Rusty didn't like the first snowfall. It was cold and strange beneath his hooves. But Clover stood calmly, teaching him that snow was just another part of life. Winter was quiet. The farm slowed down. Rusty stayed warm in the barn, listening to the wind whistle outside. He learned patience during those cold months. And when spring returned, Rusty felt older, stronger. Chapter 4. First Lessons. When Rusty turned 2, Mr. Thompson began gentle training. At first, Rusty didn't understand the halter. Why put something around his head? Why walk in circles when he could run free? But the farmer was kind and patient. He rewarded Rusty with apples and soft pats. "Trust," Duke told him from the fence. "Humans and horses work best when they trust each other." Rusty learned to walk beside the farmer. He learned simple commands. Stop. Turn. Back. It wasn't always easy. Sometimes Rusty felt stubborn. Sometimes he wanted to bolt across the field. But each lesson made him more confident. By the end of the year,
Rusty could carry a light saddle. He felt proud when the farmer's daughter, Emily, gently sat on his back for the first time. Her laughter rang across the field as Rusty walked carefully forward. He realized then that he wasn't just living on the farm. He was part of something bigger. Chapter 5: Friendship and Responsibility. Years passed, and Rusty grew into a strong, dependable horse. He helped pull a small cart filled with vegetables during harvest season. He carried Emily on quiet trail rides along the edge of the forest. He greeted visitors with calm eyes and steady steps.
One summer afternoon, a storm rolled in suddenly. Thunder cracked across the sky. The younger horses panicked. Rusty remembered Duke's calm presence when he was young. So Rusty stood tall and still. His steady energy helped the others settle down. That day, he realized he had become like Duke, someone others looked up to. Responsibility felt different than freedom. It wasn't about running wild. It was about protecting and guiding, and Rusty embraced it. Chapter 6: A Hard Goodbye. Time continued its quiet march forward. Duke, the wise old stallion, grew slower each year. His once glossy coat turned gray. One autumn evening, Duke lay down beneath his favorite oak tree and didn't get back up. The farm felt quieter without him. Rusty stood near the fence that night, staring at the stars. He remembered Duke's words about patience and balance. Life on the farm had joy, but it also had loss. Rusty understood something new. Strength wasn't just in muscles, it was in heart. Chapter 7: A New Generation. Not long after, a tiny foal was born to one of the mares. The little one was clumsy and curious, just like Rusty had once been. The foal tried to chase butterflies and stumbled into water buckets. Rusty watched with a gentle, knowing gaze. One day, the foal approached him nervously. Rusty lowered his head and let the youngster nuzzle him, and just like that, the circle continued. Rusty ran beside the foal in the pasture, not as fast as he once had, but with the same spirit. He showed him where the sweetest grass grew. He stood calm during storms. The farm was alive again with youthful energy. Chapter 8: The Golden Years. Rusty eventually grew older. His gallops turned into steady trots. His work became lighter. Emily, now grown, still visited him often, brushing his coat and whispering stories of her life. Rusty loved those quiet evenings most of all. The sun setting over the hills, crickets chirping, the smell of hay drifting through the barn. He had lived through many seasons. He had known freedom and responsibility, joy and loss, youth and wisdom. One warm spring morning, Rusty stood in the pasture, watching a new group of foals race across the grass. Their laughter, if horses could laugh, seemed to fill the air. He felt peaceful. Because a horse's life on the farm isn't just about running or working. It's about belonging. It's about growing. It's about being part of the rhythm of the land. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Rusty lowered his head and grazed slowly, content in the knowledge that he had lived a full and beautiful life. And somewhere nearby, a young foal was learning to stand for the very first time. The end.